Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Trilby's Notes. Okay, real quick, before we actually move on proper, there's one thing I want to check. And I'll do that after I restart the save point because there's other stuff in this room that I didn't look at. I want to see if it matters or not. Look at the walls real quick. I was a little too concerned about my predicament to do that. Oh. Well, never mind. Never mind. Look at the tall man. Look at myself. Too concerned. You can't kill me if I restore my save point. Goodbye. Okay, never mind. Alright, let's go ahead and, oh, well, I guess let's start by looking at everything else but the critical thing here. Look at the room. This is a completely standard hotel room, equipped with bed, sofa, and television. Neatly made bed. It's all the same for all that. A firm blue sofa was provided, presumably filled in space. Alright, everything's going to be the same. I consider myself lucky that I was not as skilled in unarmed combat as I thought. Yeah, I could have really messed her up. It was a perfectly ordinary student's backpack for carrying books and personal possessions. Open the bag. Under the circumstances, Siobhan probably wouldn't mind. There were a few textbooks, a half-empty water bottle, and a large folder marked O'Malley Family History. This, I decided, was my quarry. I flipped through the pages until I reached the information relevant to the 18th century and read my discoveries out loud. The Liverpool-based O'Malley Shipping Company ran for 3 generations of the family in the mid to late 18th century until the loss of one of their clippers drove the company to bankruptcy. Yeah, the one that we flashbacked onto. The owner at the time, Jacob O'Malley, placed the blame somewhat irrationally on a shipping crate which family legend alleged to be haunted and that it had been on the ship at the time. And we carved the idol from it. We carved it. There are numerous tales of bizarre events surrounding the crate, and the story of the crate's origin is no less mysterious. It goes that a strange young man came to a carpenter's at the Liverpool dockyards with a very expensive-looking harpsichord, which he insisted he smashed up and used the wood for whatever purpose the carpenter desired. I have to try to read fast because it goes without me otherwise. He refused to leave until the instrument had been utterly broken into its component parts in front of his eyes, and the wood sent to be made into crates for O'Malley shipping. When pressed for his name, the man identified himself as one Jack Freehorn. The Rooms of Jack Freehorn, July 28th, AD 1778. Okay, here, real quick. For the sake of, I want to try to read that one more proper. So open the bag. Okay, because I want to understand fully what happened here. Loss of one of the clippers. Owner places the crate haunted. There was bizarre events. Origin of the crate's origin no less. It goes that a strange young man came to a carpenter's at the Liverpool dockyards with a very expensive-looking harpsichord, which he insisted he be mashed up and the wood be used for whatever purpose the carpenter desired. Okay, so he brought him this haunted wood. For whatever the purpose the carpenter desired, he refused to leave until the instrument had been utterly broken into its component parts in front of his eyes and the wood sent to be made into crates for the O'Malley shipping. When pressed for his name, the man identified himself as one Jack Freehorn. Okay. So, Jack Freehorn, the Rooms of Jack Freehorn, July 28th, AD 1778. So he brought this, so this person brought the wood, which was like haunted, made a haunted crate, and then dude made a haunted idol out of it. So the crate itself was alone to get the ship in trouble, and then the idol then became trouble because it was the same wood. So what trifle have you been wasting your father's money on now, Jack? What does it look like? It looks like a virginal, a harpsichord, actually, in the Flemish style. I'm probably saying that word wrong. Quite old, quite expensive. Well, I suppose I should be grateful that something is distracting you from the occult for once. I fear you may be speaking too soon, my friend. Oh God, I should have known. You and your silly obsession. So what devilry inhabits this magnificent instrument? The instrument as a whole is for the most part untainted by the ethereal realm, but its keys are what spark my interest. Unusually, they have been carved from centuries-old English oak. And that's the interesting part? I will not be disheartened by that sharp tongue of yours. The wood has gone through many incarnations before being incorporated into this device. Items of furniture, building material. In fact, just over 200 years ago, it was part of a wall of a certain inn on a well-traveled road in Wales. The unicorn? I'm so pleased you remember. I could hardly forget it, the way you have been obsessing quite heartily over it of late. Your correspondence persists in filling your head with rubbish about ghosts and demons. I count myself very lucky to have tracked down even a small piece of that holstery. I know I've already told you some of the wonderful stories attached to it, and this instrument has had its fair share of mysterious happenings. The usual batch of strange noises, sudden madness, and inexplicable deaths. See sense, my friend. This curiosity of yours for all things ungodly has no doubt already befouled your immortal soul. You are a fine fellow, Wilbur, but you have not a drop of romance in your body. Now, stop browbeating me from my inquiring mind, and let us take dinner. That night, Jack was stirred from his bed by the sound of music emanating from his new instrument. His first thought was anger, mostly because the harpsichord. Is it Sichard? Sichord? Because it's like harp, S-I, chord, harp or chord, harpsichord. I'm going to have to look up how to pronounce that. I'm just going to keep pronouncing it wrong in the meantime. Harpsichord was an antique, never intended to be played. But then he listened to the haunting, melancholy tune, and felt his stomach roll inexplicably with fear. Who's down there? Wilbur, is that you? Yeah, it's Wilbur. He decided to play a little tune. Also, see, my temp saves are getting a little too far away from me now, so I'm gonna make 2 new ones. All right. So again, well, actually, I didn't quite expect necessarily the notes to trigger a flashback, but here we are. Jack Freehorn was a man of modest means and desired little for comfort. The only pieces of furniture to speak of were a bed and a desk. A low, inexpensive double bed, having recently been used, the sheets were in some disarray. Perhaps Jack should try rephrasing that. Fix the bed. Alright, then leave it, you slob. The streets of Liverpool were quite appropriately dark at this time of night. Jack's desk was covered untidily in letters, notes, and papers he had been studying lately. A flintlock pistol, given to Jack by his father, lay gathering dust atop a pile of correspondence. Let's see. A disorganized collection of writings pertaining to the occult, particularly the strange events that surrounded the Unicorn Inn in the 16th century. It was an old pistol, never once used, but Jack always kept it loaded. Dude. Jack wasn't close enough. Oh, well, let me help you out there. Jack took the gun with him to confront the intruder. Yeah, real confrontational. What are you holding in front of you? A candle. Jack stared blankly. The gun was loaded with shot and concealed in Jack's sleeve, ready for action. Oh my, look at this guy. The sparsely furnished room below Jack's bedroom was dominated now by his new harpsichord. The same instrument was now being tormented by the spindly hands of the emaciated intruder. I'm sorry, I don't know the names of wood. I'm going to keep saying harp wrong. Okay, I clicked right arrow. Hold on. Nope. I didn't get to read that because it instantly went into it. It's fine, we're literally right here. Jack could not take a step further because he realized with a lurch that he recognized the dark figure that sat at the keys. He had read of this strange entity that reoccurred frequently in stories surrounding the Unicorn Inn and the objects that were later constructed from its wood. And he knew with absolute certainty that the tall man would destroy him were he not destroyed first. Oh. The tall man was playing a haunting melody on the harpsichord. Except for his hands, his body was completely still. Harpsichord. I keep harping about the way I'm saying it. Oh. Alright, well. Fire the gun! You won't take me, demon! Wilbur? No. Oh god, no! But could have sworn. You! I know you. You have... Oh, God. Please forgive me, your majesty, for my transgressions. He's the king? I'm a worthless, craven fool, not worth a second of your precious time. I beg you, spare me. I will redeem myself for my offense. I will be yours forever, my body, mind, and soul. Oh, really changed your tune there, buddy. Thank you, my lord. Thank you. Identified himself as one Jack Freehorn. This may well have been the same Jack Freehorn who went on to form a bizarre religious cult. A depraved group of paganist worshippers who were spoken of with much derision by conventional society. With my latest flashback, my knowledge of the history of the cursed wood gained another step. Before the crate, it had been a harpsichord. And sometime before the harpsichord, it had been part of some kind of hostelry in Wales. An inn called the Unicorn. Why did that ring a bell somewhere in my recent memory? I had definitely seen something in the Clanbronwyn Hotel that was linked to the place. But where? Siobhan? Oh boy. And we get another note. And hopefully I don't have to ever say harpsichord ever again. Like hopefully I never have to mispronounce that ever again. Victim 3, Freehorn. Wait a minute. So we can only guess that there's going to be the 5 total. It's counting down, right? You know, I don't know why you know what, this whole time I've been saying maybe not but the third man, but it's the number 1. Number 1. The third man who desired judgment was Freehorn, who had bought from those who had made luxuries with the wood that was the prince's soul. The prince came and struck down the lover of Freehorn, and Freehorn knew the name of the king. And Freehorn said, I know you now, O prince, who was the arrogant man, and I anticipate your wish, and I will devote myself to spreading the teachings you have brought me and the love of our king. 3. And the prince was satisfied, and Freehorn called all those who would listen, and they formed an order of blessed agonies that would work to redeem the follies of the men of technology. Yeah, see, I would need to go back and like properly connect what I'm reading there to what was actually happening, but I can see what's happening. Yeah, it's you know, for the different characters, and yeah, it really is describing what actually happened there, just in different words. Now, where did she go? And when am I gonna warp to the other world? Okay, so Unicorn Inn. I don't recall there being anything, but maybe I can ask about it. Oh, I probably should have knocked first. Open the door. Yeah, I mean, I figured that was going to happen at some point. Here's the thing. I don't know if I want to be on this side right now. You know what's going to happen? One of these times, the pill will not work. I took another pill and waited for the anxiety to lift, but it did not. To my unending concern, I realized that the decay of the alternate hotel had spread either to me or the pills, and they no longer worked. I had to find a way to restore their effect, or at least another method of calming myself. Man, did I fucking call it. One of these times, it's not going to work. I didn't think it was going to be now, but apparently... Now, how else could I calm myself? I don't know what I'd have access to be honest. Do we have anything new over here? From somewhere to the west, I heard the familiar sound of a door being unlocked. Oh, well, there you go. The kitchen is the only new place. Linkman? Whoa, Linkman, wait! Wait, Linkman, I have to restore the game because I didn't get to look closely at what that was. What was that flicker? Now that I know where I'm looking, look at the door and see what he's flickering as. Okay, he was flickering as the man. The man. You know, Maybe he's actually the man. He's the man with the plan. Do I look like the kind of guy with a plan? I'm probably doing that line a little bit wrong, but let's see. Will it say anything? I will just open the door. Oh, this room is lovely. Nice kitchen. What's cooking? What had once been a kitchen was now some kind of torture room. I found myself wondering whether it was used for extracting information or merely to entertain the alternate hotel's hellish proprietor. But look at the walla. There was an interesting imprint of blood on the north wall, suggesting that some flayed victim had been hurled against it. A horribly tormented soul was still lying on the central counter, limbs arranged oddly from spasms of agony. The preparation counters were splattered with the blood of the poor wretch, accompanying the central surface. How about the stove? The oven, the sole remnant of the kitchen's former usage, was stained from the inside with desperate handprints. Dude, he paints a really fucked up picture. I like it. Use the sink. I should probably be more specific. Turn on the sink. I did not want to think about what would come out when I turned the tap. Ominously, it seemed like the sink had never been used. Well, you know. Oh, look at all the knives and shit, too. An array of unpleasant-looking utensils hung from a series of hooks, drooling fresh blood down the wall. Take a knife! I could not bring myself to touch the implements. Of course not. The oven, the sole remnants, had fingerprints, and it'll never let me open. Look at the doors. There were 3 doors. The door back to the dining hall, a fire exit, and a third destroyed door beyond which stone steps led downwards. The emergency door refused to budge. It appeared to be jammed. Raspberry. Oh, lovely. This is a fantastic room. The grimy cellar had been abandoned for some time. A large section of floor was worn away. The worn-down area had been conquered by a swarm of greasy black beetles. Ew! Look at the beetles! Each was about the size of a child's fist. They scuttled back and forth across the floor, slipping in and out of heavy cracks in the foundations. Looking at them made me feel quite nauseous. At least 2 individuals had met with sticky ends down here. One of them had been almost completely picked clean by the beetles. The other, I noticed, was heavily decayed except for its hand, which was fresh and pink. I wondered if this had something to do with the puddle of water it was lying in. Huh. Look at them beetles, and by that I mean look at them black dots. Can I walk across that? Oh no, the beetles have got me! Oh! This concludes the text of the notes found and the thing from the investigative team. At a time writing, Trilby remains missing in action. Oh no! And here's the thing. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious what needs to be done. If we didn't grab the meat earlier, we'd still have access to it because we are in this world. So, it's definitely the meat. Good stuff. Now walk into it, Trilby. Oh, I guess we're fine. Look at the hand. Take the hand. I'll never let go, Jack. I doubted I could have taken that with me. Oh, well. Look at the water. In the far corner of the room was a puddle of water, created by drips from above. It had a curious color to it, and the drops seemed to glow with their own illumination. The liquid was having a strange effect on a nearby corpse. Drink the water! It was almost as if the water was drawing me to it. Not like a scrabbling thing in my mind, like the... Not like a scrabbling thing in my mind like the chisel or the painting, but more like a beckoning siren. I couldn't help myself. I crouched down and dipped my hand in. It felt uncommonly refreshing and brought an we're gonna be whatchamacallit, like cured or whatever. It felt uncommonly refreshing and brought an amount up to my lips, my unhygienic surroundings forgotten. As a pleasant feeling of simultaneous coolness and warmth spread from my stomach, I realized that the water had some sort of rejuvenating effect. I had no explanation for this, but at the time, I didn't care. I was beginning to feel in the back of my mind that the familiar tickling sensation that indicated a reality shift, so I swiftly scooped a few drops. I swiftly scooped a few drops of the liquid into my pill bottle, shaking it through the remaining pills. Nice. Okay. And then ta-da, now we're here. It's the way we get around locked doors and shit in this game. It's just we have to we have to phase shift, because now we'll be on the other side of the kitchen and all that. Alright, cool. So if we look at our pills now, it seemed like a perfectly ordinary child permanent warnings, hallucinations. Oh, no, it doesn't have anything else. Okay, that's fine. Alright, the hotel cellar was lit up by a single spotlight, and it seemed almost completely bare for some dusty cardboard crates and a wine rack. You know what? I just realized we are... Wow, you know what? Where did the time go in this part right here, honestly? I mean, we did a lot, but holy crap. We're already at time here. So before I continue exploring this side of the building anymore, let's go ahead and call it a part here. So in the next video, we'll go ahead and continue exploring here now that we're on the other side of the kitchen. So it'll open up the next path and we'll see what we can find here. So I'll see you then.